everyone, it's Em. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is all about food, but before I get into it, I wanted to take a minute to say thank you so much for all of the amazingly kind and positive comments on my first carnivore video. I genuinely appreciate your feedback. I honestly had no idea how it would be received, so I'm really happy to know that it was both relatable and helpful. It was also really cool to see so many great questions, so thank you for them and please keep them coming. One of the questions I was asked was, what do I actually eat and how do I go about planning fuel for the day? So let's get to it. So first things first, coffee. I love coffee. I don't technically need it, but I pretty much love everything about it. I always buy whole bean coffee because I really dig the whole sensory experience of grinding my own beans and the wonderful smells from that as well as brewing it. So I pretty much start every morning with coffee. I like making it hot and other times I like making it iced. It totally just depends on what I'm in the mood for. When I make hot coffee, it's pretty simple. I typically make about 12 ounces of coffee at a time, and when it's done, I add 2 scoops of bulletproof collagen protein to the carafe, and I swirl it around so it dissipates. In my blender, I put about a tablespoon-ish of grass-fed butter. Kerrygold is my favorite. Then I'll pour the coffee in and then top it off with Himalayan pink salt. Depending on the day and what activities I plan on doing, I may add a little MCT oil for extra fat, but not always. And let me tell you, it comes out so good. Right here. Every time I have it, I feel like I'm having a fancy coffee. Now, I haven't had iced coffee in a couple weeks because how I make it is more ketovore, but if I'm in the mood for it, the process is a little different. When I make iced coffee, I typically brew the coffee a little stronger because the ice will cut it. I still add collagen the same way, but when I do iced coffee, out comes my Bubba cup. This thing is honkity. Now my Bubba cup was a gift from my children several years ago. Now it's pretty beat, but I love it and always reminds me of them. I fill it with ice. I fill about 3/4 of the way of coffee, and then I will add unsweetened vanilla almond milk with a couple packets of stevia. Having it this way is technically ketovore, but it's still very enjoyable and won't kick you out of ketosis. In the morning, I pretty much wake up and hit the ground running. While I'm having my coffee, I'm also getting my kids ready for school and myself ready for a day of training clients and my own training. So I usually don't have my first meal until late afternoon, early evening. I strength train 4 to 5 days a week and do some form of cardio pretty much daily. So on any given day, I drink at least 6 liters of fluid, if not more. Most often, I like drinking lemon water, mineral water, water with BCAAs and electrolytes, and sometimes a second cup of coffee. What I do think is just so amazing about carnivore is that I am really never hungry. Having coffee, especially the way I do, technically breaks a fast and maybe puts me in dirty fasting mode, but still, I have tons of energy regardless. Even on the most physically intense days, come 5 o'clock, I'm good. I have wonderfully consistent energy. It's a beautiful thing to not feel like I'm a slave to blood sugar fluctuations because they really just don't apply with the carnivore diet. Even if I'm making dinner late, I am still very relaxed and never starving. In terms of planning, when you first start carnivore, it's really important to ease your way into it, especially if you're used to a very carb-dense diet. I think for everyone, there is a process of figuring out what works for you and what best meets your needs. And let me tell you, for years, I meticulously tracked everything I ate, paying very close attention to my macros, proteins, fats, and carbs. Calories were not a big focus because calories are energy and I either have enough or I don't. But for the longest time, I kept the most detailed spreadsheet and was very focused on meeting my protein goals. When I stepped into keto, that went into overdrive because I was not only focused on keeping my carbs low, but also my proteins high. When I started carnivore, I continued tracking, but when I look back at it now, I know I was still hanging very much on to what I thought I was supposed to have for protein. And I discovered that really impeded my success. I was having way too much protein and not enough fat. As I mentioned in my first carnivore video, it was about the 5-month mark when I really start to hit my stride. And I can't say enough about how good it felt to let go, trust my body, and learn to eat intuitively. Putting an end to what I see now as probably obsessive macro tracking has been so liberating. So now, knowing that every meal consists of animal fats and proteins, which are high in fat and moderate in protein, I feel free. Food is now simple, easy, and my brain is not hyper-focused on it like it used to be. And I have no issue building muscle. So that said, here are a few things that I have pretty much every day. My first meal always consists of 3 to 4 large eggs, 1 to 2 ounces of goat cheese, and bacon. With it, I tend to have beef the most, like burger or steak, but I also enjoy making things like wild-caught salmon, once in a while short ribs, or chicken with pork rind crumbs. Now those are mainstays, but other foods I really like incorporating into my meals throughout the week include sharp cheddar, mozzarella, goat cheese, cream cheese, full-fat sour cream, heavy cream, and a new one for me, mascarpone cheese. Oh my God, is that amazing. I also like incorporating Egg Life egg white wraps, and if I'm in the mood for something crunchy, I love pork rinds. I know that Utz and Epic are great brands. Once every couple of weeks, I like making my carnivore cheesecake, which is the easiest thing to make. If you haven't seen my short video on it, I highly recommend. Another one of my favorite little treats is a glass of Diet Sunkist or Diet Polar Cream Soda, both of which just contain aspartame, with a little heavy cream. Oh my God, it is decadent and you feel so full after. And sometimes if I'm just having a moment, I'll take a couple teaspoons of mascarpone cheese sprinkled with stevia. Very good. Now these are all great if you find yourself wanting a sweet, but don't want to get off course or get kicked out of ketosis. Anyway, so that's a look into how I typically eat these days. I remain symptom-free, feel great, rock my workouts, sleep like a boss. Life is good. I hope you find some of this helpful. Thank you again for listening and supporting my channel. See you soon.